DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Here, I want to illustrate in this video one of my favorite frameworks. Is one of the most important pieces of this is one of the most important principles that you need to understand when it comes to creating success in your life. I call it the 5 forms of investment. And everyone understands the concept of investing, right? Even if you're not an investor, even if you don't know anything about finance, the concept of investment is not just about finance, it's not just about money. Concept of investment is a pretty simple thing, but I want you all to understand that it goes further than how most people understand it. Investing is simply you put something in, and since we got a whiteboard here, we'll use some visuals here. Investing is simply you put in this much at the beginning, this X amount, and then later on in the future, you get back, let's say, 10X amount. That is what investing is about. That's the general concept. My light is giving a lot of reflection there. So the general concept of investing is you put in X, some time goes by, you get back more. If you make good investments. Now, a bad investment, you put in 10X, you only get back X. So basically you lost on the investment. But I want you all to understand that there are 5 forms of investment. And for any of you to become successful at anything that you do, you need to be putting in all 5, not just the ones that you know about. So most people know about the concept of money investing. Right? You put some money into, let's say, a stock or a bond or some type of financial vehicle, and in the future you get more out, or maybe you hire or employ somebody to do it for you. You put some money in, you get some money out later on in the future. Most people understand the concept, even if you've never done it before. Most people understand that's the way generally that it works. But you need to understand all 5 of these forms of investment, because anything in life in which you are successful, you have put in all 5 of these forms of investment. And anywhere in life where you have not yet gotten to the success that you want, it is because you are short on one of these 5 elements. So let's go through all 5 of them so you understand what they are. The first one, most important one, is the concept of time. What is time? Time is the most valuable resource you have. Time is your life. So we will write that down, because time is the one of these 5 forms of investment that if you run out of it, the game is completely over. I don't mean your business game or your career game or relationship game. I mean the entire game, the big game. Your game is completely over. Everything's done. There's nothing left that you can do if you run out of time. You run out of any one of these other 4, you can keep going. You can be completely broke. You could be out of energy. You could have no focus and keep living. You run out of time, life is over, it's done, and they're scheduling your funeral for the following Saturday. Time is the most valuable resource that you have, and is the most valuable investment that you can make into anything that you do. You think about it in your life. If you are really great at your career, anything that you're great at, it's probably because you're putting a considerable amount of time into it. That's how you got great at it. If you think about anyone in any profession right now. This is something that I like to say all the time. Anytime that I hear an athlete talking about they're going to make a rap album, or they're going to do something outside of their professional sport as a job, and they're talking about it as if they're going to be really great at it. And I already know from the beginning, before they even start, impossible. Why is this? Because it is impossible for any person to be great at 2 full-time professions at the exact same time. Why? Because you have to put a full-time commitment into anything in order to be great at it. You can't name a person who was great at 2 full-time professions at the exact same time. Maybe they did both at the same time, but they were not great at both. My favorite athlete of all time was a guy named Deion Sanders. He's still a football coach to this day. He was great at football. He was okay at baseball, okay to good at baseball. He wasn't great at baseball. He was great at football. Why? Because the full-time commitment, the time that you have to put in to be great at something, you can't split that between 2 things. There's no basketball player who was great at rapping, even though many of them tried. There's no rapper who's even close to good at basketball, and I've seen a bunch of them play. None of them is good. Maybe because you're a fan of their music, you might try to say that they're good, but they're not good. I've seen all of them play. Name one, they all suck. Why? Because they can't put a full-time commitment into being good at it. You must put a full-time effort in. Any of you have a solid relationship, whether that's a family relationship, an intimate relationship, a business relationship. Why? Is because you put time into that relationship. You have long-term friends, people that you've known for a while, and there's a solid relationship there between you and those people. Why? It's because of the time that you've put into that relationship, and you cannot short circuit that. Any of you might remember years ago, I'm not a big movie person, but years ago I did actually go see this movie. It was a movie called I Love You, Man. And I forget who the actors were, but it was this guy he was about to get married, and his wife had all these friends. So when they're planning their wedding, she has all these people she's inviting to the wedding and going to be her wedding party, her bridesmaids and stuff. She has all these women lined up to be bridesmaids, but the guy, he didn't have any friends. He didn't know anybody. So he was like scrambling to try to make some friends so that he could at least have a best man for his wedding, because he didn't have anyone that was close enough to him to be the best man for his wedding. And the whole movie's plot was him trying to go make a friend so that he could have a best man for his wedding. The whole point being, the reason why this guy didn't have any friends, because for whatever reason, throughout his entire life, all these 25, 30 years he had been alive, he hadn't put enough time in to build that relationship. So the number one form of investment of anything that you want to do in life is you have to put the time in. You want to be great in sports, great at business, great in relationships, great in any line of work that you get involved in, you must put the time in. Even if you get the information from another person, even if you get the strategies from somebody like myself, even if you have a coach, even if you have all kinds of help, without putting the time in, you are not going to get the outcome that you want. So time, most valuable form of investment. Second one is the one that everybody knows about. This is the investment of money. Many people think, often, especially back in the days when I used to do mostly basketball material, when I was playing pro basketball, a lot of basketball players would come to me and they would say things like, well, Dre, I see your videos and you're in this empty gym working out by yourself. Well, Dre, here's my problem. I live in this town where there's no basketball gyms around that I can get access to. The only basketball court, period, is outside and is 2 miles away, and I got to walk there, or my parents won't drive me there. How am I supposed to do things? I don't have money. I don't have access to these things. Now, a lot of players would give me the reason / excuse that their lack of money is the reason why they weren't able to become the players that they wanted to become. And guess what? Nowadays in the business world, I get the exact same stories from business people. All we did is swap out basketball for business. So people will say something like, well, I want to get the information, but I can't afford to hire a coach. I can't afford to join the mastermind. I can't afford to go to this conference. I can't afford to sign up for that course over there. I can't afford to get a consultation from you. People use money as a reason / excuse for why they aren't getting the outcomes they want, as if money is the only way to invest in themselves. When I'm telling you right now, there's a bunch of other ways besides just money. But here's the thing, when we talk about money as an investment, understanding the concept of investment. What does investment mean? Investment is when you put something in now and you get more back later, as long as you make wise investments. And the thing with investing your money is when you make a wise investment with your money and you're investing in something that you have an understanding of. So I'm not saying you go jump into stocks and bonds if you don't understand them, or jump into buying real estate if you don't understand it. But if you understand that this person over here or this guy right here is a good coach or a good consultant, or they have a good course or a good program or a good mastermind that is going to help you and get you the information and speed up the process of you getting an outcome, then it's not really a risk for you to make that investment. This is why we're talking about investing here. We're not talking about costs. We're not talking about expenses. We're talking about investments, meaning you put in $1, you get back 10. You put in 20, you get back 40. That is what an investment means. So when we talk about investing with money, you have to understand that you put in money because you're going to make more on the back end than what you're putting in on the front end. Me personally, at this very moment today, I'm in 1, 2, 3 different programs of different people who are in the business world, where I'm learning different pieces from different people, and I pay every single month to be in those programs. None of those programs gives me money in exchange for being in their program. What do I get? I get access, I get information, I get processes, I get strategies, I get insights. Why am I willing to pay for these things? Because these things are going to, when you make a monetary investment, what they do is they help you save time. See, I think I'm a smart enough person that if I did everything on my own, I didn't invest any money in getting into anybody's programs, I think eventually everything that I learned in those programs, I would eventually figure it out on my own. The problem is it might take me 10 years to figure it out. Whereas being in somebody else's program or going to somebody's course or hiring somebody as a coach, I could figure it out in 1 year. So is it worth it for me to invest this much money to save myself this much time? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. How much is your time worth? Remembering what I told you in the first point, that time is your most valuable resource, something that you should already know. When you run out of time, the game's completely over. So would it make sense to invest some of your money, which is easily replaceable? And especially if you live in America, this is paper money. It's not even real money. It's just paper, and it's not backed by anything real. It's only backed by the faith that we have in the government. That goes away. Your money is completely worthless, no matter how much you have, whether it's paper or is in numbers on a spreadsheet. Is it worth it to invest your money in order to save time? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. And the more you believe that, the more money you will be willing to invest in yourself in order to save yourself time. And here's what you need to understand. Think about this. All the big players in whatever industry that you're in, whatever field that you're in, they all invest their money into doing things that ostensibly are going to save them time. That if you just connect the dots to everything that they're doing is saving them time. In other words, if you know someone, an athlete, for example, they might have a personal trainer. Now, does the personal trainer themselves save that player time? Not really. But what the personal trainer does is help that player work on their game in a way that the player otherwise wouldn't be able to do on their own, so that the player can become a better player in a shorter period of time, so that player can make the All-Star game in 2 years instead of making it in 5 years. So that player can make the All-Star game 8 times in their career instead of only making it 3 times. And that might make the difference between, that might be $100 million difference when it comes time for their contract, or the difference between making the Hall of Fame and not making the Hall of Fame. The difference between how many generations they can take care of after they retire versus how many they can if they didn't do that. So this is what you're doing anytime you're investing money, is somehow, some way, you are saving yourself time by making this monetary investment. That is why money is one of the most important forms of investment, and one that many people have a challenge with, simply because many of you are emotionally attached to your dollars and cents, and you don't understand that the purpose of money is to be used as a medium of exchange in order to get all the other things. You don't have money just to have money. Money by itself is worth nothing. There used to be this cartoon back in the day called DuckTales, and one of the main characters was a guy named Scrooge McDuck. And his whole thing was he had all this money. So he had like a vault with all these gold coins in it. He was swimming around in his gold coins because he just loved all the money that he had. But you have to understand something about money. Money is completely worthless if you're not using it as a medium of exchange. I'm not saying you have to go use all your money to get something for it, but the purpose of having money is that it gives you options and allows you to do things with it. That is the reason why we acquire money, so we can do things. You can buy a house, you can take care of your kids, you can buy food, clothing, shelter. You use money as a form of investment to get the other things that you want in life. Having money itself is worthless. Ask anybody who died with a whole bunch of money. How much was it worth for them? Did it buy them any extra time before they passed away? No, it didn't. So time, first form of investment. Money, second form of investment. Third form of investment is attention. What does attention mean? Attention is in what direction are you looking? Where are you paying attention? Are we understand the concept of paying attention, right? Everybody's heard that before. Hopefully you are paying attention to me right now while I'm talking. Attention is, where are you looking? If you think about the world that we live in today, there are so many things that we could be paying attention to. You could be paying attention over here. My marker is running dry here. All right, so you could be paying attention over here, over here, over here, over here. Look at your phone right now. Look at the home screen of your smartphone if you're not watching this on your phone. How many different apps could you be paying attention to right now? Let me grab my phone. Let me see how many apps I can look at. So I got, just on my home screen, I got Google Maps, I got the settings, the calendar, email, text messages, storage, Google Drive, search, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google Docs, all these social media apps, WhatsApp, text community, mastermind group community, all these work apps, reading apps, audiobook apps, podcasts, photos. You get the point. Music, camera, all these different things. That's just on the home screen. And then there's a whole bunch of nested apps inside of that. There's a ton of things we can be paying attention to every single day. Here's the thing about attention. Attention is the direction that you're looking, and whatever you are paying attention to, that's the direction that you're going. Wherever you look is where you're going. I heard the story of this guy once who was he went to a track to ride in a simulation of a race car. I've never done this before, but he did. He's riding his race car. He's going around turns at like 180 miles per hour in this fast car. And he had never done this before. I don't know how he ended up getting himself into the car, but he did. And at one point, he was about to crash into the wall because he lost control of the car. Now, he has an expert in the car with him. An expert obviously has seen this before. So the guy's telling the story how he's about to run into the wall. He's looking at the wall because he's about to crash into it. And the expert who's sitting in the passenger seat takes his head and turns it in the direction of where the road is. And all of a sudden, the guy turned the steering wheel in that direction as well. The whole point is, whatever you're paying attention to, that's the direction that you're headed. So you need to think about in your own life, where are you paying attention every single day? Are you paying attention at the Explore tab on Instagram and wasting time, or allowing time to go by? We don't want to call it wasting. You're just letting time go by because maybe that's actually what you want to do. Are you paying attention to some nonsense that's not going to help you get to where you want to go? Are you paying attention to things and people that are actually giving you insight and information going to help you become the person that you want to become? Where is your attention going on a daily basis? Where attention goes, energy flows. So where is your attention going is a very important question you should be asking yourself all the time. There's a business coach, I've been in his program, a guy named Alex Sharfin. He talks about this, that people should do what he calls a time study, where basically every 15 minutes over the course of a couple of weeks, every day, you're going to mark down what you're doing and where you're spending your time so that you can figure out where your attention is going, so that then you know, okay, here's where I need to eliminate. Here's where I need to add on. Here's maybe where I need to hire some people. Here's where I need to fire myself. Knowing where your attention is going. And when we become more cognizant of how we're using our attention, usually we use it a whole lot better. So you have to basically make the unconscious conscious. Is what you need to understand is 85% of what we do in life, thoughts and actions, are habitual and unconscious, meaning we are not consciously thinking about them. We don't even realize that we're doing them, but we do them every day. And they're 85% of our actions, which means 85% of your life. That's the majority of your life, right? More than half is made up of unconscious things. When you get conscious about it and you start paying attention to what you're doing with your time and what you're doing with your attention, then all of a sudden you can start taking control of it. If you're not even aware of where your attention is going, of course, it's going to be going in all different directions. And at some point, you're going to look at your life 5 years from now, 3 years from now, a week from now, and say, well, what the hell am I doing? Where the hell am I going? And the reason why it's a question and the reason why you'll be perplexed by it is because you're not even aware of what's going on. So attention is all about this one word, awareness. So let me write this down. Hopefully y'all can read this and is not too far away. Attention is all about awareness. It's about you becoming aware in how you are spending your time, where and how you are looking, because the direction that you're looking matters a whole lot for getting to where you want to go. Now let's move on to the fourth form of investment. So we got time, money, attention. Next one is focus. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, Dre, isn't attention and focus the exact same thing? Answer is no. That's the reason why there are two different points on this board right here. What is the difference between focus and attention? Attention is the direction that you're looking. Focus is what you are taking from the direction that you're looking. I'll give you a very simple example. You're watching this video and listening to me talk right now. Let's say there are two different people watching this video at the exact same time. Each of you is going to take away and retain and remember and emphasize different things from what I'm saying, even though I'm saying the exact same thing to both of you. So just because you're paying attention to something does not mean your focus is the same as somebody else's focus. Let me give you another example. Any of you ever been in, when you were in school, you ever had the teacher catch one of the students in class really, it seemed like they were paying attention, but not really. So the teacher just, while they were talking, they immediately just stopped and said, hey, Mike, or hey, Lisa, what did I just say? And Mike or Lisa couldn't answer the question, even though Mike or Lisa was looking at the teacher the entire time, or at least it seemed like they were looking at the teacher. All of you seen that happen before, right? Maybe I could stop right now and ask you, tell me what I just said about attention. You might not be able to retain it. What does that mean? Attention means you are looking in a direction. Focus is what are you taking from the thing that you are paying attention to. This is another example of this is if any of you who's a big reader, you ever catch yourself, and this happens to me before, you're reading a book and you've gone through like the last 3 pages of the book, but then you pause and you think to yourself, wait a minute, what happened in the last 3 pages of the book? And you can't even remember. It's almost like your brain kind of went blank. So you were paying attention because you're looking at the words and the pages, but you lost focus. That's the difference. Focus is sharper than attention. Focus is what exactly are you extracting from the situation. So for example, I went to school from kindergarten all the way up through the 4-year college degree. What did I focus on? What are the things that I can remember? What are the things that I retained? My answer will be different from your answer. If you went to school for all those years, the same years as me, you went through high school, you went through college, there are certain things you retained that I didn't retain and vice versa, meaning our focuses were different, even though we were both paying attention because we all graduated. So what are you focused on? Focus is about what you are extracting. And I'll put that over here. Focus is about what you are extracting from the situation, not just the fact that you are noticing what is going on. To give you another example, these days, a lot of people think incorrectly that just because we have all these YouTubes and Googles and podcasts and all this free material that people put out, like this video right here, that, okay, I can pay attention to any of that stuff. I can get all the information I need from here at any point. Well, if it was that simple, then everybody would be successful because there are a whole lot of successful people who know exactly how to get things done, who are putting free material out online every single day. Can we agree? Of course we can. So why isn't everybody successful since all the materials out there? I mean, people are getting seen. It's not like this material is invisible. People can see it. People can consume it. You can download it, save it, watch it, listen to it, read it as many times as you want. Why aren't more people successful? Here's the reason why more people aren't successful is because the focus. And let me tell you how focus gets sharpened is when people make deeper investments. See, that's why all of this stuff, this investment part, this part doesn't really start going deep until people get really, really focused. You want someone to really get something out of the investment that they made, they have to be fully focused. And here's the worst kept secret about human beings is that we don't get focused until we are invested. How do you get invested so that you know your focus is going to go up? You got to put in money. This is the way that it works. Can we agree? And all of you have probably heard this saying before. When people pay, they pay attention. And you notice how all of this stuff connects. When you put money into something, you start paying attention to it. Why is this? The reason why people who pay money pay more attention, thus they are more focused, thus they get more out of their investments, is because money has an emotional pull on human beings, especially in Western society. We are all emotionally connected to money. Money has an emotional pull on me, has an emotional pull on you. Some people more or less than others, but it's true of all of us. That's why when we pay money for something, we pay a lot more attention, we are a lot more focused, and we get a lot more ROI out of our investments. So you want to get ROI of anything that you're doing, you have to pay money. That's the way that it works. If you don't put the money in, you're not going to get the return on investment. This is the way that it works. So you want to get more out of everything, put the money in, then you're going to put more time in. You're going to show up to stuff when you pay for it. You will pay a lot more attention to it, and you will be more focused. You're going to get more ROI. This is just the way that it works in life. If you don't believe me, put some money into something and tell me how much you pay attention versus when you're not paying for it and you're getting it for free. If I was charging you for this lesson right now, you would pay a lot more attention and you would get a lot more out of it than what I'm doing right now and giving it to you for free. This is just the way that it works. This is just the way human beings are wired. Why is this? I just told you, we're emotionally connected to money, and especially in Western society. I wouldn't sign up for the class of going any deeper than that. Just understanding it. You want to get ROI out of something, pay for it. And let me tell you how you can verify this. Look around. Look at a guy look at your favorite athletes. Look at your favorite entrepreneurs. Look at the most successful people that you know. Call one of them up. Call the 3 most successful people you know financially or career-wise and ask them, how many different things do you invest in, sir or ma'am, that help you with your career? I mean, invest in by money. What are the top 3 things you invest in to help you move your career forward? They don't directly pay you, but they help you move your career forward. I guarantee you that person's going to have plenty of answers for you. And they'll probably have more than 3 answers for you. And they're the most successful people you know. Now, get off the phone with them and then go talk to the 3 least successful people you know. And ask them, how many different things do you pay for? Meaning you put money in that are helping you with your career and moving your business forward. They won't have any answers. They'll probably start laughing at you because that idea has never even occurred to them. Is that a coincidence? You tell me. Now let's move on to the 5th form of investment. We already did time, money, attention, focus, energy. Energy is 85% of the job in life. All right, once you have time, as long as you have time and you have energy, you can pretty much make anything happen. I'm gonna say that again. You have time and you have energy, you can make anything happen. So energy is, make sure that's an 8. 85% of the job in life is energy. When 2 people have an equal amount of skill and an equal amount of resources and an equal amount of intelligence, the person with more energy is usually going to come out on top. They're usually going to be the one who gets their way. They're going to be the more influential individual. Person with high energy can pretty much get anything done as long as they have enough time to get it done. Even if they don't have the information, even if they might not even be the smartest person in the room, but if they have energy, they can make stuff happen. All right. Any of you watches sports? Look at a sports game. Team with the higher energy, especially at the pro level, usually wins the game. Because at the pro level, everybody has talent. Everybody has trainers. Everybody has access. Everybody has the great facilities. Everybody has all the stuff that many amateurs wish they had access to. At the pro level, all of them have all of it. So who wins the game? Usually the team that has more energy. And you know who usually has more energy? You know what creates energy, folks? Any of you know what creates energy? You should be able to figure this out because I'm not trying to trick you with this. What creates energy is focus, and attention. Focus is a force multiplier. The longer and the stronger you can stay focused on anything, the higher your energy will be for that thing. You want to have higher energy in life, what you need to do is step up your focus. If you want to step up your focus, you need to work on paying more attention to the things that matter most to you. Whatever you want to have energy in life, start paying more attention to it, sharpen your focus on it, and you will have more energy. And when you have more energy, here's what happens when you have more energy. You will get more things done in a shorter period of time. You see how all of this stuff is interconnected. When your energy's up, can we agree? Just think about this. When your energy's up, can you get something done in a half hour that usually would have took you 2 hours? Of course you can. Has any of you ever woken up late one day and you had to be somewhere? And you usually wake up an hour before you had to be there, but one day you woke up and it was only 30 minutes before you had to be there, or forget the numbers, but you just woke up late. Any of you ever woke up late and you had somewhere you had to be, and now you have less time to get ready than you normally have to get ready? What happened? And you had to be there. I'm talking about you had to be at school, you had to catch the bus, you had a big meeting at work, you have an appointment that you signed up for, you got something that you absolutely cannot be late for, and now you just realize that you woke up an hour later than usual, and now you got to get ready in less time than usual. What happened? What happened that day, folks? Everybody knows the answer. All of a sudden, you got this big burst of energy. You got this burst of adrenaline that all of a sudden, what usually took you an hour and a half to get ready, you got ready in 45 minutes, and you were ready, and you were activated, and you got everything done in 45 minutes that usually took you an hour. Why is that? Because your energy was up. When your energy's up, you condense time. When your energy's up, you condense time. When you get more focused, your energy goes up and you shorten time. You condense time and you get things done in a shorter period of time than it normally would have taken you. Anytime that you're lazy, you're feeling drowsy, you're feeling just sluggish and slow, it takes you a long time to get certain things done. But if your energy goes up, you get that same thing done in half the time. So if you want to save time, which you should want to save time, you want to condense time in life, because time is your entire life. Your entire life is made up of time. So if you want to get more out of your life, what you need to do is step your energy up. To step your energy up, you need to decide what you're going to pay attention to, allow your focus to sharpen, because you stay paying attention to that one thing. And there's a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. You should read that book. If you haven't read that book, read that book, The One Thing, that allows your focus to sharpen on what the most important thing or things are in your life. That will allow your energy to go up, and this will shorten your time frames. And when you shorten your time frames and get more done in a shorter period of time, guess what happens? You make more money. So instead of it taking you 10 years to make your next $1 million, what if you can make it in 5? Instead of 5, what if you could do it in 2? Instead of 2, what if you could do it in 6 months? All because your energy went up, you condensed time, because you were paying more attention, you were more focused, you made more money. This is how the 5 forms of investment all work together. They work off of each other. They are not mutually exclusive. You need each one to get each one. So these are the 5 forms of investment. Time, which is your life. Money. We are emotionally connected to money. You should use that. Use it to your advantage. Use it against yourself. You want to pay more attention to something, invest money in it. I guarantee you'll pay a whole lot more attention to it than you are right now. Paying attention. What is attention? Attention is the direction that you're looking. Focus. What are you extracting from the thing that you are looking at? And energy. Energy is 85% of the job. If you want to get better at any one of these, then you need to use the other 4. You want to make more money, put more time in, pay more attention, get more focus, and put more energy into it. You want to have sharper attention, then decide where you're going to focus and step your energy up. If you want to be more focused at anything, then you have to make sure you're putting all your attention on it and have more energy for it. You want to have more energy, pay attention and be focused. You want to have more time in life, step your energy up, pay attention, sharpen your focus, you will make more money. All of these things work off of each other. These are the 5 forms of investment. And with all that said, 2 things for you to do now. Send me a text message at this number right here, 305-384-6894. You get my daily motivation text that I send out every single day, free of charge, to everyone who's in my text community. And workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you want to learn how to take these 5 forms of investment and actually put them to work in your business, for your brand so that you can actually condense time, step your energy up, get more people to pay attention to you, get focused on your business so that you can generate more money, more return on investments. You want more ROI in generating more money? Join me at workonyourgameuniversity.com. That is my bulletproof mastermind. It's my group coaching program. I have a one-on-one program as well called the 3rd Day Mastermind. You can choose which one you want to work with me at. Both options are available at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.